Alright, in this video, this is a manual countdown component that you can add to any custom app. And inside of that component, you can manually adjust the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until any event that you want. Notice here, I'm counting down the days, hours, minutes, and seconds until Halloween, and it pretty much matches right to the second over at timeanddate.com where I got the countdown for Halloween. You can get this component from my free components folder. It is called Simple Countdown, and if we head into that component, over to the globals, the first few globals that we have here are where you manually enter in the month, day, year, hour, minute, and second. So notice I have the 10th month, October, the 30th day. Yes, I know Halloween is on the 31st, but I wanted to do it this way to point out something else to you. We have the year, and for the hours, make sure you're using 24-hour time, military time. So the 23 actually represents 11 p.m. if you're on an AM PM time. So 23 or 11 p.m., 59 minutes and 59 seconds. So pretty much the very end of October the 30th, and therefore it's going to go right over into October 31st, which is Halloween. That's how this countdown works. So this is where you manually type in stuff. We're going to come back and look at these four codes right here in a moment. Let's head over to the items and let's look at this text item. This is where I have everything showing the countdown. So let's look at the first piece of this code. If GV seconds, I'm going to show you this code right here in a minute, but if that is less than 0, that means our countdown has ended. If GV seconds is less than 0, you're going to be returning a negative time, which means our countdown has ended, so you can change that to whatever you want. But now let's look at the rest of this stuff. If GV days is greater than 1, we want to return GV days plus, and then inside of these quotation marks, I have the word days. Whereas if GV days is equal to 1, I still want to return GV days, plus inside of quotations, I want to return the word day, not days. That's why I have these two parts of the code there. Something else to notice too is that yes, I am referencing to a global, and inside of that same code, if you put a plus, and then in quotations, you can put whatever you want. And in this case, I want to show the number of days, plus I either want to say day or days. Now, if GV days is not greater than 1 or it's not equal to 1, we're not going to return anything. I'll show this to you right here in a moment, where the actual day row completely goes away if our countdown is less than 1 day. Now, the same thing applies to hours. Notice if GV hours is greater than 1, we want to return that global plus the word hours. And notice here, I did have a space up here between this quotation and day. For example, if I come back here today and I delete it, nothing changes because that's the single day. But if I come back to this one here, there is a space between this D and days and that quotation mark. If I delete that, notice we don't have a space between 19 and days. So it is important to put a space between that quotation and the word days if you want to put a space between that global and whatever else you're returning after that. Same thing for hours. So again, if GV hours is greater than 1, we want to return the hours plus that word with the S on the end. Whereas if GV hours is equal to 1, we do want to return that 1, but we only want to see the word hour and not hours. Same thing for minutes. And between each one of these, I am returning a new line. For example, if I press enter here, notice we do have a new line between 19 days and the 11 hours. So I'm just pressing enter once as I go from this code to this code. And the same applies to all of these. But now if we look at seconds, if GV seconds is greater than 1 or GV seconds equals 0, we want to return the number of seconds plus the word seconds. And now I have my event until Halloween. So we're going to see seconds until Halloween if our seconds are greater than 1 or if our seconds are equal to 0. You can delete that equals 0 part off if you want. Now, if the seconds is equal to 1, this is when we want to see the singular version, second, not seconds, until Halloween. And I do have a new line between seconds until Halloween. If I delete that, notice we have it on one line, but if I press enter, we can put that new line beneath the seconds. Let's check on that, and now let's go into the globals again, and let me show you some things that will happen as our countdown starts getting lower. For example, if I change the day to the 11th, today is October 11th. Now notice the days are gone because my countdown is showing October 11th and it is October 11th, so there's 0 days. That code I showed you a few minutes ago is what's removing that. Now you will still see a blank here, And one way to alleviate that, as these things start to go away, you'll see more blanks. You can take these, add each individual day, hours, minutes, and seconds, put each one in their own overlap group, take those overlap groups and put them inside of a stack group, and you can use the visibility of each overlap group to remove it from that stack group, which would in turn shift everything up and keep things nice and centered. I did not do that for this tutorial because I wanted to show you all the codes in that single text item, but feel free to do that. And if you have any questions about that, you can leave a comment below. Now let's come on down to the codes here for days, hours, minutes, and seconds. These codes are all similar. We're using the TF function, and whatever our manual year is, GV year, plus a Y, that's going to reference the year, plus GV month, there's our manual month, plus a capital M, that's going to reference the month. And the same continues. Notice the pluses, GV day, plus a lowercase d, plus GV hour, lowercase h, plus GV min, plus a lowercase m, plus GV seconds, plus a lowercase s. But notice this M part here, the capital D. That's what's allowing me to get that 0 because there's 0 days left until October 11th because it is October 11th. Let's check on that. Let's come on down to hours. Same exact code, except now I want to return the hours. That's how I'm getting that 11. You could use 2 H's here, but I'm using 1 H. Therefore, if I get below 10 hours, like 9, 8, 7, 6, those single digits, I will not have that extra 0 in front. But if you did put 2 H's there, you would have that 0 padding. Same thing for minutes. I'm referencing the lowercase m, that's going to give me the minutes. And then lastly, the seconds, we're referencing the seconds, the lowercase s. And that's pretty much it, but let me show you a few more things. Suppose I go back to October the 10th. Now I have passed my countdown. Check out what happens. Your countdown has ended. So anytime that seconds becomes negative, which technically means your days, hours, and minutes will also be negative, we're not showing any of that time. We're saying our countdown has ended. So you can go in there and adjust that text item to whatever you want. So let me show you a few more things. I'm gonna come back to the 11th. That's today. Now we don't see the days there, but let me come down here to the hours. And right now it is currently 12:17. So let me put 12 here. And now the time is 12:18. So let me change my minutes to 19. Let's see if we can get a countdown until it is 12:19. And let's do 0 seconds for that. And now notice the minutes are gone. So we're trying to get a countdown to 12:19. There's roughly 20 some seconds left. And what I want you to see here is that we're going to have the plural word for seconds go down to second. Every once in a while, I will notice that this here, it may skip a number here and there. But what I want you to see now, right here in a moment, once this countdown ends, it should be 12:19 up here on my clock. And let's see what happens. So countdown has ended and it is 12:19. So it works fairly accurately, I would say. And yeah, there you have it, a simple countdown for any event that you want. Just go in there and change those days, hours, minutes, and seconds with the months and all that good stuff. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped.